This is a kind of PSA on a topic that I think no one really mentions in the YouTube space, which is to not copy other people's ideas. You know? We see more and more nowadays that being original is a fleeting or kind of it's a distinguished trait. It's not something that many people have anymore. A lot of people tend to use other people's ideas, recycle other people's concepts, and attach their name to it as if they were the ones to create it. And there's nothing wrong with having inspiration. There's nothing wrong with feeling motivated by somebody else's raw energy, because maybe they were also motivated in one point by someone else's. There is some idea of like polymerization, that there's a chain reaction that occurs when a certain way of thinking enters the market, and a lot of people hop on that trend both with a genuine appreciation and admiration for the original idea, but unfortunately also with kind of a selfish, scheme, to platform off of and piggyback off of the creations of others. And I think, to an extent, we have to remember that this is a natural phenomenon. You need inspiration. You have to start somewhere. You have to build off of something. You can't be the first one to innovate everything. Because we have already progressed so far in human history. How could any of us be the first, to do something anymore? It's very rare. It's very difficult. A lot of the great thinkers of the world have already long since passed. The ones that have established many of the principles and archetypes and ideas that we, foundationally leap off of today and build off of. And so it is difficult, right? Because, on one hand, you do want to create your own substance, but you need that of others to do so. So what I stress is to be as original as you possibly can, and in areas that you do require inspiration, just be sure to give credit where credit is due. How many people nowadays see a brilliant YouTube idea and copy the same exact title, the same exact idea, the same exact thumbnail? It's insane. It is so insane. It's just like nobody has that inspiration to just go their own path and do their own thing. And you hear a lot about people that claim to be like chosen nowadays. That's one thing that I've been hearing incessantly recently. And everybody thinks that they're selected in some way for like this special existence, and I try to really avoid that way of thinking, because I think once you start believing that you are above or different in some way, then you start to, hold yourself to a higher standard. And then if you don't, stay true to that in all forms, then you're setting yourself up for a hypocritical existence. And a lot of people that do feed off of the energy of others are living in that, this pure hypocrisy. And what they claim and what they do is, there's dissonance. And so I just try to stay true to myself and I don't mess with labels, and I feel a certain way, I act a certain way based on that, and I talk a certain way based on even that. So I let these things build up in me and try my best to be honest and true and not take from other people unless I'm willing to give. You have to be willing to give too. And sometimes that just means, sharing where you got that inspiration from. It is kind of an obligation because people deserve to be recognized for their hard work. And if you circumvent that and you attach your name to something that you didn't even come up with, then what are you going to do at the end of the day? When you've exhausted all the resources from others, you will have had nothing left because all you do is take. All you do is react. It's so big in 2023 to just react. Everybody wants to react to a video, react to a funny fail, and it's just like, it's kind of sickening because it's like, where's the originality that used to be here, the individuality? It's just slapping their face on it and saying a couple words over this thing that they saw or heard. And it's like, nobody cares, So I seek that out nowadays. I look for people that are really genuine, that aren't afraid to do their own thing, that don't follow trends, because in many cases the trends just lead to just shallow, repetitive, normative behavior that gets sucked of life after a while. You can only see the same video pop up on your feed so many times before you're like, really guys, come on. And I mean the same video with the same title, talking about the same thing. It's not like these people are posting it on the same day. They're posting it like a few days after each other. And that they saw. There's one primary one that blows up the algorithm, and then several other people will watch that and be like, oh, I need to jump on that too. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I haven't done that in the past. Of course, I've been guilty of it. But I like to think I've grown, over the years, and relied less and less on other people to give me inspiration, and finding that deeper within myself as I live. So today, just want to give thanks to all those that have come before me, all of the great thinkers who in many shapes and forms have passively inspired me to, Carl Jung, Alan Watts, Bob Proctor. These people have been kind of integral in helping me, at least, to make more sense of the world, and just to give me a little bit of a light as I try to illuminate these darker areas in my own life. So with all that said, I just want to leave you with this last thing, is just to not forget your individuality. Don't forget what makes you you, and always bring that to the table. Sometimes you won't be recognized for it, sometimes you won't be appreciated for it, at least not in the short term, and it is really tough when that happens. But don't lose sight of that, because when it does finally kick off, you will appreciate yourself so much for all that genuine and honest approach that you put into everything. The true you, which is what we all want to see. So with that being said, have a great rest of your Sunday, and peace.